Alright, I made a video recently saying that my shed is not big enough for metalworking. And you know what? I was wrong about that. It's not very bright in here. I gotta try to keep the door open. Move this so I can open it all the way, well, as far as it'll go. I'm gonna come over here. The shed is, on the inside, is 7 feet wide and it's 15 feet long. And as you can see, I've got quite a bit of stuff in here. Somebody mentioned wood storage. I have wood stored in here. You can see up there on the shelves up there. Got some leaning against the wall here. I've got some up here as well. This is maple 2x4s from benches that I did in the school somewhere. Were left over. That's typical. A lot of this stuff goes into the dumpster, if you can believe that. But whenever I did one, or whenever I was on a school doing the doors, and there was another crew doing, say, the millwork, I would always, I would approach them and get the scraps and cut off. So that's why you see me having a lot of that stuff, because I collected a lot. I actually used a lot too. Okay, shelves here. I built these when I built the shed. They're just pieces of 2x6 and the open studding here type thing. And I got old paint and stuff over there. Most of that is just garbage. I really should bring it to the dump and, you know, the hazardous waste thing. I've got a lot of different stuff on the shelves here, which I'm probably never going to use. But I actually got rid of quite a lot of stuff not that long ago to get it to this state. Actually, it was a lot cleaner than this. And I added these light fixtures that I took out of my shop, and they're here taking up space. And then ceiling tiles, I had to buy a new box to replace some of the ones in the shop, because these obviously take up a lot more space than the current ones that I have. So I've got the extra ones of those in here, some MDF behind there, an old door here that I've been thinking about putting on my shop, thinking about, but I haven't done yet. And up here, a couple of those pass load nail guns. This one is a fairly new one. I say fairly new, but I bought it, I don't know, 10 years ago. Anyway, I'm going to try to open it up here with one hand. I haven't used it in at least 6 years. This is a nail gun for finish nails. I bought this for one job in particular where we did slats on the outside of a library that went right across the front and up the, well, across the other side as well. It was a lot of work, a lot of nails to drive, so bought this thinking it would be good for that. It does misfire a little bit more often than I'd like. The other one up here is a framing nailer, and I've had this for about 20 years. I'll open that up, and I actually bought this used, and it's okay. These things are okay, you know, for what they are. They're not, you know, they're cordless, right? And they got the power to drive the nail in, but they frequently misfire. They require maintenance, and of course you got to charge the battery too, which is a pain, because I had 2 batteries for this, but one died, and I bought a new one, and it was $60 for these batteries, so not cheap. And then of course you got to keep them charged, otherwise the thing doesn't work. This technology is at its end, I guess you could say. The one where it uses gas to drive the nail in. Down here is the dust collector impeller and motor that I really should use for something, but I haven't. It's sitting out here. And now when we turn around to the, well, hang on, let me walk ahead here past the door. And this is a sheet of aluminum. I bought 2 sheets of aluminum for a job. I really can't explain what it was for, but I had this much left over from the 2 sheets, and I've been, you know, having it ever since. I think this was like 6 years ago, so I've been you know, I'll find a use for it someday, but in the meantime, it's taking up space in here. Shop vac down here, leaf blower here, chainsaw there, old disc sander up on the shelf up there, skill saw that I use quite often, and more lumber down on the shelf down there. There's more pieces of lumber in the stud spaces around here as well. And then I'll back up here a little bit and show you the floor here. There's gas, and then there's my MIG welder and the, what is that? Plasma cutter, more gas, and a snow shovel, and a tarp underneath that, and a big cord underneath that, and a piece of steel, and that door I talked about before, and the top to my old downdraft sanding table that I put in here that I'm just going to get rid of, and another piece of steel. I recently went and I bought a new piece of 1/4 inch thick steel at a local steel place, and the shortest length they could sell me was 10 feet. The things come 20 feet long. The shortest they would sell me is 10 feet. So they cut 2 pieces that I need. These are pieces that I'm going to replace on the jointer. So they cut the 2 pieces I need for that, and then this is what was left over. So I'll find something to use that on, no doubt. Looking up in the ceiling up here, garage door opener from my shop. I took this out, and I took the garage door out, and I blocked the hole. And at this point, the shop will never be returned to a garage anymore, so I really don't need this. But I was trying to think of something I could do with that would be interesting, but I haven't come up with anything yet. Put some suggestions in the comments if you like. So basically what I could do here is I could gut this, take everything out of here that is not part of, say, metalworking, and insulate the walls, put an actual ceiling in it so I can get some insulation up there. Because like I said, it gets hot in here in the summer with the sun beating down on it, and opening the door, since the door swings into the shop, like into the shed like this, it takes up too much space, and it really won't make that much of a difference when it gets warm. So I'd want to insulate it, and I want to get, you know, plywood on the walls, plywood or OSB, something that I could paint a reasonably bright color. I want to get some lights in here. Probably that's the place I could use at least 3 of those fixtures. Yeah, I could put 4 of those fixtures in here, like 1, 2, 3, 4 up in this ceiling here, and that would get rid of 2/3 of them anyway. So yeah, that's what I think I'll do. So I don't know. I think that's going to be a project. You know, I wrote this off thinking it was too small, but it's not too small. It's like I said, it's 7 by 14. There's plenty of space here to do metalworking stuff. I've already got my steel top table out here that I made a few years ago. There's a series of videos actually, that I made on that back before I was reasonably good at making videos. They're a little long, but they cover all the details that are in there. So I'll put a link to that in the description of this video if you want to go watch that. Check it out. It's a good table. It's got the steel top, the steel frame underneath, but the legs themselves are made out of 4x4 cedar 4x4s actually, and there's a shelf on the bottom. That's good. So yeah, after coming out here and looking it over and thinking about it, actually, I've convinced myself that this is the thing to do, you know, to get this cleaned out, insulate the walls, put the ceiling in, lights in the ceiling, all this kind of stuff, get it set up for that. I think that'd be the best use for it. And even if it's, I was going to say I could make a spot in the back there for this other stuff, the leaf blower and the rakes and snow shovel and all that stuff. But I think what I'll do is I'll build another smaller shed, because I need a place to put a snowblower. I haven't got a snowblower yet. I've been putting that off and putting it off, convincing myself I need the exercise when I shovel the driveway, but man, that's getting old, because sometimes we get a lot of snow, and you know, as much as I need the exercise, I really don't need to shovel.